Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Disqualified. I'm Trevin, joined as always by Caleb.
Hola.
And the reason he walked off screen is because Zach cannot join us today.
Zach is not behind the camera.
Where'd he go?
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? He's in Michigan currently. Wishing him the best because he got into a car accident yesterday.
Yeah.
But he's fine.
Yeah,
so.
he good. Just
Car's fucked up.
yeah.
But that is neither here nor there. All the best wishes and love going to Zach. But we are here to talk about a very, very shitty episode of Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah. On the car ride over here, I was like, I don't know if this is bad per se, but I don't think it's good that the day before's episode of TNA was both more entertaining, exciting, and story-driven than this episode of SmackDown.
I don't think it's good when the whole, as I call them, a bubble of the internet wrestling community was very pissed off about how piss poor the women's division is getting booked, and rightfully so. And what does Triple H do tonight? Well, The Rock wants to feel special and make a surprise appearance on SmackDown. So they delete the video of Nick Aldis confirming 2 matches for the show. And one of those, it's very easy to tell how they cut for time because it wasn't even a match. Yep. And those were involving 2 people that are in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, and then a 6-man tag becomes a normal tag match.
Yeah, all for the probably the worst promo segments I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So awkward, disjointed. Rock's a schizophrenic.
Yep.
But that is later on in the show. So we'll just get things started off right away with our first match.
Yep. Well, I did bring up TNA, so I will speed run through some news on that before we get to SmackDown. One of you might WWE fans know him as LA Knight, but indie fans know him as insert Eli name here.
Eli Drake.
Yep. Elijah this time made an appearance at TNA and has officially signed a deal with them to continue to show up, helping out Joe Hendry. Obafemi tags with the Hardys against Moose's faction.
Yeah, the System.
Yep, the System. Wesley continues to have beef with the Rascals.
Cora Jade shows up and looks at Tessa Blanchard very disgustingly.
Yep.
I don't like Tessa Blanchard at all.
Yep. This crossover is cooking. What is not cooking is this episode of SmackDown.
Yeah, because this does not involve anyone in the crossover except for maybe Eli Drake, if LA Knight actually goes back over.
Yes.
But we
yes.
open with Big Jimmy Uso versus Drew McIntyre for your opening match of the night.
Yeah.
And let's just get the result out the way.
Jimmy wins through roll-up.
Very questioning booking decision.
Yep.
On one
if Gordon was still a co-host here, he would go on a whole 15-minute rant. He'll probably do it in the comments.
How they're hoeing Drew McIntyre, which, yes, to this extent, I agree. It's weird. You have him going into the Elimination Chamber, like you said right before we started recording, a week from now. And it is just weird how
he still ends up coming out on top because he claymores the F out of Jimmy.
Oh, a lot of this match was Drew's offense.
Yes.
Not extended squash per se, because Jimmy did get some offense in, but Jimmy does pick up the win with a roll-up.
Yeah. The story behind this match is Drew's hubris because a roll-up was caused by Drew continually spamming the Alabama Slam.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Jimmy looked dead, but Jimmy was in fact not dead.
Yeah. But it happens to the best of them. If you use the move one too many times, Becomes easy to pick it out.
You learn the frame data.
Yeah, he learned the frame data. This is why I always fight bosses like 5 times. Because I can never get their moves.
Yep.
And once I do, it's lights out. And
Yeah.
then they hit me with another one.
Yeah.
And then I cry.
But yeah, the opening promo of the show, which was before this match, was Cody approaching Nick Aldis, a little pissed that he was taken out of the 6-man tag, but it's because Nick Aldis tells him that The Rock approached me and said he wants you in the ring for a promo with him tonight, and he doesn't want you either gassed out from the match or distracted from the match tonight.
Yeah, we'll get into that later when we get to that. That takes place like right at the end of the second hour.
Yes.
Going into the last hour.
Yes, but after this match, we see Solo walking into the arena.
Yeah, he pulls up in a black SUV, and he gets out, and it's Jacob and Tama meeting him, basically. And I think it was Jacob that says pretty much, look, I'm calling the shots now.
Yep.
Especially tonight.
Yeah, because Solo said, like, look, I heard that it's changed to a normal tag now, and I will be out there to support you two wholeheartedly. And Jacob's like, nah, me and Tom have been holding it out for a couple weeks now. You hop in this one.
Yep.
You got some debts to repay.
Yep, so that sees the main event of the evening go down from a 6-man, like we said earlier, to a regular 4-man, 2-man tag match.
Yep, with Damian Priest and Braun Strowman versus now the team of Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu.
With Tama Tonga on the ringside.
Yep.
And we'll get into that later, because that's pretty much all we see from these 3 men from now, or for now.
Yes, and leading into our next match is a little promo that leads up to it. We see R-Truth approach him.
Yeah, so Carmelo's like, R-Truth is like, hey, you ready for our match tonight? And he's like, what we faced last week.
Yep, and he's like, no, we got a tag match.
And he was like, I've never seen you before.
Yeah.
And then he's like, we got a tag match with who? He's like, with him.
And it's shown that Carmelo's partner is none other than R-Truth's former partner,
The Miz.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then R-Truth says, well, I'm going to go get a Louisiana legend for my partner.
And everyone's confused. A bunch of people started Googling, like, who's on the roster from Louisiana?
Yeah, my first thought was, they're having Ricky Saints debut on SmackDown.
Yeah,
when he just signed his NXT contract.
But
no.
Nope. As we get into this match, the new christened Mellow Don't Miz team enters, and R-Truth enters and announced that his tag partner, Louisiana legend, New Orleans born, Louisiana Knight.
This, admittedly, was the best part of the show.
This was pretty funny.
Was the LA Knight coming out, and then a moment we get to in the tag match. It was the best part of the night. R-Truth, thank you for at least making the first hour entertaining.
Yes. Yeah, one of the spots that people keep memeing is R-Truth hitting one of his signatures and then counting his own pin.
Yeah, counting his own pin, Carmelo kicks out. But the part that saved this whole thing for me was R-Truth tagging in The Miz. He is beating up Carmelo. He walks across the ring, tags The Miz, and stands out on the apron. He's like, all right, it's your turn. And Miz is like, we're opponents. We're facing each other. And then Carmelo comes out, hits R-Truth off the apron.
Yeah.
The match ends with Mellow Don't Miz picking up the win. I think hitting the first 48 into a skull-crushing finale.
Yep. Yeah,
And
and the reason why LA Knight was not able to make the save is because your US champ Shinsuke Nakamura, while the ref was distracted, jumping roundhoused him in the face.
and then hid over the barrier by standing like this. Like, legitimately, they said, from the shadows! In bright ass light, just standing there like this.
Ninja.
Okay, Drax, if you don't move, I guess technically you're invisible.
Hey, at least his clothes blended.
No, it didn't! The barricades are gray!
I thought they were black.
They might be black now. I remember gray. Or I'm thinking about NXT. I think NXT still has gray ones.
Yeah.
But, hey, this was quite a way to open your first hour.
Yeah. But now as we go into the second hour, one of our champs address us. In Tiffany Stratton.
Oh, I am usually the biggest defender of Tiffany Stratton, but this promo was bad. It was a bad promo. Basically, just going over what happened last week.
Yep. Previously on SmackDown.
Yeah, and then Candice and Nia come out, and Nia is also had another, in my opinion, a stinker on the mic. I didn't like Nia's portion of the promo, nor Candice's. Actually, this whole promo sucked ass.
Yes. But we go into the match leading into this, which is a grudge match between Tiffany Stratton and Candice LeRae.
And these two try to put on a good show. I think it was pretty good. I think the momentum got cut off by Charlotte Flair entering in the middle of the match.
Yep, to join the commentary table. Headset and all, but barely says a word.
Yeah, and pretty much the match ends. Is this another DQ end?
No, she hits the moonsault and
prettiest
gets
moonsault ever. Gets the pin.
Yeah, gets the pin.
And then they start jumping her.
Yep.
Charlotte just sitting there.
Yep. But Tiffany's tag partner for Elimination Chamber against these two, Trish Stratus, comes in for the save, gets some decent offense, but also gets laid out, and Nia to end the brawl hits. Because she stacks them on top of each other to go for an Annihilator, and made this look like the weakest Annihilator ever.
It was the worst one I've ever seen. It looked like she landed on Trish's face.
Yeah. Well, from the video I saw, it looked like she went to go hit it, but landed on her feet and then just gently sat down.
Oh yeah, that is the, I think that's the problem with the Annihilator. While it does look good in instances where, like, Lyra in the Queen of the Ring finals took it, trying to do a sunset flip into just...
Splat!
That was amazing. I don't think stacking up opponents is the kind of thing that the Annihilator should have. A lot of diving finishers have never been one that you... Oh, bless you. That you really stack people up for. I can only think of a few times that maybe Jeff did it for the Swanton. But this sounds bad, but the segment ended, so that was good.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fan of everyone in the ring, mainly except for Charlotte. I kind of think Charlotte's overrated. That is me, though.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it was a good... the promo really just soured the segment for me. People were saying online that it sounds like Tiffany knows she's losing at Mania, so that confidence is shook. Also, Tiffany is a better heel than she is a face, so trying to make her the face in this, it was mandatory to make her the face because no one's going to cheer on Charlotte going after a young champion.
Nope.
So it's just a weird story that they're going into for Mania.
Literally, riots are going to start if Charlotte goes over, which, looking at stuff, it looks like she might be, but mate, the internet and just wrestling community as a whole is going to be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
She's tied her dad's record. That's enough. We're getting...
Oh, not even.
Yeah.
She's at 13. This would be 14 for her.
Ah, okay.
So she needs, after this, 2 more.
Yeah, she...
And then one more to break it.
She already is the record breaker for the women's division. She don't need this.
Mm-hmm.
You have booked the dream match people have been asking for of young rising talent versus legend that have similar stories, similar character styles.
Yeah,
we don't need another Charlotte run.
it's weird because it's hard to sell a heel versus heel match, just like it's hard to sell a face versus face match. It's kind of easier face versus face depending on who the people are.
Yeah.
Like Cena Punk, for example, because they're both seen as faces right now.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, you could have Punk go in as the heel because he can cut a heel promo. But at the end of the day, they're 2 big stars. People are going to want to cheer both of them.
Yep.
And with this, it's not that Tiffany is a better heel because she is cocky and arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound right when someone who's supposed to be a beacon of positivity is arrogant. It's like if Cody Rhodes suddenly became arrogant. It just wouldn't sit right with this character now.
Yeah. But speaking of face versus face and Cody Rhodes, we get a spot in backstage of Damian Priest approaching Cody, asking, why The Rock here?
I don't fucking know. He's our boss.
Yep.
He said, why is your guy here? First of all, I wouldn't even say he's my guy. He's a colleague.
Yep. But Cody tells him, like, look at what season it is.
Mm-hmm.
Your guess is as good as mine. But Damian Priest is like, cool. But, you know, it was cool how we both walked out of last year's Mania champion. Now, this Mania, only one of us can do that.
It's not going to be you, Damian.
Nope.
Unless what we fear is going to happen happens.
Yep. Because this episode, we'll get into it when it's at the end of the episode, but I'm going to release this sentiment I am having now. This is both the most and least predictable Chamber and Mania season I have been able to participate in.
This is one of the worst build-ups to a Mania I have seen, personally, in my opinion.
I am so confused every episode, at least on Raw. I'm getting some answers. I'm getting some teases. For the SmackDown half of the show, what we doing?
We only know one confirmed Mania match, and that is currently being booked terribly.
Yep. And even for the women's chamber, I'm like, there is no stories here. Like we mentioned on our Raw review about Roxanne versus Rhea, surprisingly being the most convincing besides a triple threat of Io, Liv, and Rhea, which I'm like, but no one wants Liv back in the title picture.
Yeah.
You said we were done with this. Why 2 months later you are bringing it back up?
Yeah, for me, I think the biggest flaw in the women's chamber match is that you put... It sucks. You put the women's tag champs in there.
Yes.
And
as they are floating people, they represent neither SmackDown nor Raw.
Nor NXT. So... It's just weird because in my head, if Naomi didn't advance, I have Bianca win this chamber, go on to face Rhea.
Yep.
But also, you still have the loose ends with the goddamn fucking Who Attacked Jade Cargill story. You have these three of the actual participants. So half of the chamber field facing off in a match on Monday for the tag titles.
Yep. But another thing is, Liv is kind of like the problem with the men's chamber last year, with Drew being the only Raw rep for a match to determine who challenges for the Raw World Championship. The only Raw rep in the women's chamber is Liv, because Bailey got added to Raw a week before qualifiers started. I don't count her.
She's technically the Raw rep along with Liv, because you have an NXT rep in this one, which is different. It's cool, but you have 3 SmackDown reps.
Yep.
In Alexa and the tag champs, because they got drafted to SmackDown.
Yep, but legitimately, I'm not counting Bailey as a Raw rep. She got added the Raw before qualifiers started and was wrestling across all 3 brands still.
Yeah, but it's just, what did we do? What do we do?
What happened?
Yeah, once again, Rock coming back threw plans into a disarray. Apparently, they were really looking forward to Cody v. Rock this year, and because The Rock won't wrestle, their Mania plans are now in a fucking tizzy, which is like, why are we focusing? Like Vince did at the end, why are we focusing on part-timers, which is ironic because I really want Cena to win. Why are we focusing on part-timers coming in and taking spots away from the young, up-and-coming talent?
Yeah. But that's the thing, is that the Rumble happened and it looked like, okay, they kind of cooking. Jay won, nice little swerve ball. Charlotte Flair won. Expected, easy pick. There were a couple other contenders like EO, as I mentioned in our prediction video, but Charlotte winning, expected. And then they announced the participants in all the qualifier matches, and I'm like, okay, cool. Here's our dream chambers. They're cooking a little bit. And then the final results came in, and we were like, what the?
It was immediately fucked from the first qualifier with Liv winning by DQ. It's immediately fucked the moment you didn't have EO in the chamber.
Yep, and it's like, okay, the women's is a little wonky. Maybe the men's can cook. Logan Paul kind of sticking up the joint, but the other 5 participants can cook. But it's announced Roman's out of action for a while, and we're like, this could still cook. Priest over Jacob Fatu. We're effed.
Yeah, this is the match I'm looking forward to most at Chamber is the Sammy Kevin match.
Not even the matches that the PLE is named after.
Not even the match that has my GOAT in it am I excited for. Because you have 2 polar bears in Arlington, Texas. And I will not stop saying this. You have 2 polar bears in Arlington, Texas. And if you look on the match graphic that they have officially, they're both on the left side. They put the polar bears right next to each other. You couldn't even hide them. Damn, fucked up. But, moving on to worse news.
Yep. We did a promo about the singles match between Naomi and Liv. We don't get that match because as soon as your tag champs enter, they are ambushed by Liv and Raquel.
From under the ring. They posted a photo of them under the ring. Cool. You get heat for Monday. Pretty much after this, we had Nick Pierce kick them out.
Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
Kick them out, threatening to call the cops.
He told them to put some clothes on, which was funny. But he was like, I don't know what Adam Pearce does on Raw, but you're not going to come over here and run amok. And they just started laughing. And I'm like, you failed right there. You failed. But also, Liv continues to make good points. When in the history of Liv Morgan ever doing shit has she not bragged about it?
Yup.
Like, come on. And Wade Barrett said what I literally said on the show. Being at the scene of a crime minutes after it happened does not make you guilty.
Yup. Where is our fair trial by a jury of our peers?
We need wrestlers' court. God damn it, Undertaker, come back. You need to hold wrestlers' court in the fucking locker room. Who attacked Jade Cargill?
Yes, but after this horrible bashing, we get what we discussed in the car was probably the best segment of this show, and it was not even 2 minutes. We got a little promo from Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, so Alexa, they had most of the women cut for SmackDown women cut a promo for what they're looking forward to.
Yep, Selena Vega around the first hour of the show cut a promo about she is immediately looking for gold. The graphic was the women's world champion, but it was teased earlier that she is also, when she first got drafted, that she is also probably looking at the US.
Yep. And then we have Alexa talking about what she's looking forward to in the chamber, saying randomly in the promo, "I'm in charge." People are saying that's directed at Uncle Howdy, and I don't think so.
Yeah, but
I just think that's part of her current
she has
character.
She has mentioned how she has won a chamber. She has mentioned how she's one of the best performers in terms of women chambers. I think she is going to be one of the final two in the chamber.
I'm sorry, Trevin. I hate to break this to you. Looking at the field, she's probably won the first boots. You're not pinning one of the champs right away. Bianca and Naomi are probably going to stick around to the final three. Liv, if they're actually going for Liv winning, of course she's not getting pinned. Roxanne is too good of a young up-and-comer to get pinned right away. And then you have Bayley. Bayley or Alexa are going to be one of the first two out. I'm sorry. It's going to happen. It sucks. I really want Roxanne to win this chamber so bad. But we shall wait and see. That's pretty much the bulk of Alexa's promo. Was just chambers coming up. Yeah. I've done some good stuff in it. I've won in it.
Yep.
I'm going to win in it again.
Yep, some Wide 6 glitches here and there, but still no news about when they're actually going to come together.
Apparently, Bo is injured, is what I've heard. But I don't know the nature of the injury. I don't know how serious or unserious it is.
Yeah.
Don't know how long he's been injured.
Yeah. Yeah. But then we cut to what felt like the longest grueling segment of this show.
I legitimately wanted to turn off my TV. It was Cody Rhodes and The Rock. But first, The Rock. Yep. Dwayne comes out.
Yep.
First of all, we come back from commercial break and we have a 10-second just look at the crowd. Complete silence. It's literally murmurs. And then, if you smell... And then, a weird remix.
Yep.
And I was like, who the fuck is this? Because it started flashing up Fleur de Lis on the on the Minitron.
It was a special New Orleans version of the Rock's Tron.
And then, finally, we get The Rock coming out, him doing the goosebumps like usual, and first, we're going to see 3 faces of Dwayne Johnson tonight. He is very much schizophrenic. Yep. First, we see corporate man Dwayne Johnson announcing next year's WrestleMania location is...
New Orleans!
In the Superdome?
I believe.
Superdome.
Yep.
I think it was the Silver Dome, brother, that Hulk said. But Superdome?
Yep, continues the trend of wherever the Super Bowl is, WrestleMania follows the year after.
Yep. Just let's see where the Super Bowl is next. Watch it be in somewhere like fucking Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Or fucking, no, it's probably going to go somewhere Miami, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That's my guess. I don't know, though.
Yeah.
But
then he starts singing when the Saints come marching in, and this is where his first personality shift happens.
we get Final Boss Rock, and he says, no. I'm singing. You shut up and listen. When the Final Boss sings, he sings only. He starts singing, the crowd starts in with him, and then another character switches face and heel more times than Big Show in his career, saying, hey, you did it. You got it. You got me on that one. I let you sing. I let you sing. And then he switches character again.
Yep. Basically,
My head hurts.
basically cutting a the crowd sucks promo. The crowd doesn't understand anything.
Calling them he said, you know what? You did it. You finally got me to sing with the largest collection of trailer park trash and STD-ridden people I've seen. Which he says, for every single fucking audience he's in front of, to insult them, because I guess Dwayne Johnson's not creative and that's the only insult he can think of.
Yep. But he asks Cody to finally come out.
Mm-hmm.
And Cody comes out, gets a huge pop from the crowd, and he immediately just gets to business being like, I'm here, what you want?
Yeah, and he says, I want you. Cutting off all, well, no, then we get another character change.
Yep.
Good guy Rock is back, and he's like, your mom and my mom have become good friends. Show the picture of the moms.
Yep. Smiling, shoulder hugging.
Yeah,
and they're like,
Mama Rhodes and Mama Rock.
Yep. And he's like, we've also become good friends. Last time we saw each other was Raw, Netflix. You know, we shook hands. We drank a whole bottle of tequila together.
Yeah, Terramana. We drank it for 2 hours. Had a good conversation.
Yep. And now I'm here, WrestleMania season, wanting to continue to be your friend. I want to take you to the next level. I'm the people's champ. I know what the people want.
How many Instagram followers do you have?
Yeah.
Like 100 million?
Yep.
That's cool.
I got 500 million.
I got 500 million. And it's like, oh, okay. That's what we're doing.
And yeah, he's like, I am the only person in this business that can take you from here to here as not just a champion, but as a performer. So I want you to not just become the people's champion. I want you to become my champion.
Oh, yeah. We finally get the worst part of the segment over with. Because that's pretty much, to end out what Rock says, he says, I'll see you at Elimination Chamber for your answer.
Yep.
So there's your 5th segment for Elimination Chamber, because that will take up 30 minutes in itself.
Yep.
Be just as
but he says, like, and remember the last time I saw each other, I said I was coming for this. And he's like, no, not this. I want your soul.
Yeah, Sang Sung is now in WWE. But hey, it's weird. This could be how they sell Cena v. Cody, with Cody selling out. Don't think that's gonna happen. The big fear now is that
The answer I brought up in the car.
Damian Priest wins the chamber.
Yep, and
they literally could go with Damian Priest winning the chamber.
Yep.
Mainly because after, I think it was after Drew's match, or maybe after this segment with Cody and The Rock, he tweeted out, "Can't escape the bloodline vortex."
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, another thing too is that they continually hype up Priest in these segments on Friday, and sure, but another thing too is that I brought it up in the car. They could potentially do a nostalgia pull of Cena's final wrestling match being another rerun of Cena versus Rock as they could play it off as Cena approaching Rock being like, why are you asking people to sell out? Like, you call yourselves the people champion, but who gets the biggest pop whenever they show up?
Yeah, it's just weird, man. The Rock, like we said last year, fucked up all the Mania plans because he didn't want to be there, and now it seems like he's fucking it all up again just for the fun of it this time.
Yeah, because it has been because it has been leaked that if Cena, for whatever reason, wasn't winning the Chamber, they did have a substitution penciled in of Cena versus Paul.
And that would just be not a good match not a good match in the sense of it's one I don't want to see.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as much as I don't like Logan Paul as a human being, he is begrudgingly good at professional wrestling and
is good at promoting stuff in general.
Yeah, and John Cena, he's my favorite.
He is the casual fan pull.
Yes.
And having social media star versus biggest casual fan pull ever, it writes itself as much as Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson wrote itself.
Yeah, and with the I think there's a 3 Raw in a row span where he's going to be on the Europe tour coming up, and it makes no sense for him to be there if he has no Mania plans.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to see if this leads to Cena going on to the Chamber or going on to Mania, or if it's just Paul and Cena. But I think that'd be the longest streak of continual TV that Logan Paul has been on. So
yeah. But another thing too is that I brought it up in the car. If Cena is not winning the Chamber, so we can have old face of company versus new face of company, I want the winner to be Punk, to just tie off so many ends, finish so many stories of this pseudo beef Cody and Punk have about who deserves their shots more. Punk finally getting his WrestleMania main event, and just this thing of Punk's amazing promos for 2 years in a row saying like, I'm a come to end your story.
I think in terms of people that I would like to see win, it goes Cena, Punk, and then Rollins. Or no, not Rollins. McIntyre.
No. I have Rollins over McIntyre because Rollins also has story purposes with Cody.
So does Drew. I think Drew has not more compelling because we've had Cody v. Seth. I just want to see Drew v. Cody again because like Drew posted, I think it was a couple days ago, happy 1 year to not being pinned on the roster, and the last person to pin Cody was Drew. So I think that's more compelling in my case.
Yeah, but
Seth.
But he hasn't had any build up because he's been distracted with trying to build himself back up.
Yep.
And that storyline got flopped because of the roll up this episode.
Yep. But if the rumored Mania matches are true, then it's going to be Priest versus McIntyre. Oh. Let's move away from this subject because we could talk about this for a whole nother hour.
Yup.
It is just so bad. Last thing I'll have to say was I saw a tweet before coming here that said Cody's soul should be an unlockable championship in the next 2K game because The Rock wants to fight for it.
The meme squad jumped on this.
Yeah, they also said Cody's face during the whole promo was everyone watching the whole promo.
Of just, what the F are you talking about?
Like, what the fuck? But, moving on, we get DIY.
Yep, back to the action.
Versus Pretty Deadly in a tag team championship match. That was pretty lackluster because you're following up the what the fuck was that segment.
Yep.
I think everyone's energy was just thrown off.
Yep. A lot of people also said that this was one of the most dead crowds in SmackDown history. Like,
Oh yeah, no, it was dead.
yeah, like from beginning to end, there was not a lot of crowd reactioning.
The match starts with DIY cutting a promo for a moment of silence for Pretty Deadly. Crowd boos them as the moment they start the moment of silence. Pretty Deadly comes out, beats down DIY with their music still going. They cut to commercial break, get back from commercial break, and music's still going. Or I could just be misremembering, but that's how I usually remember these things going. It's just...
Basically DIY was Pretty Deadly was putting the brakes on DIY, but of course, DIY retains through DQ.
Yep, with what appears to be Angelo Dawkins medically cleared because the Street Profits run shop on the tag team division. They just wreck house.
And Motor City Machine Guns come to make a save and get a little vengeance. No, they don't.
Yeah, it ends with Montez hitting a frog splash, I believe, on Chris Sabin.
Yeah.
And they leave and walk out. And this was one of the better parts of the night. I love the new energy the Street Profits have. Love the fact that they didn't leave us guessing as to if they had their theme song or not, because they played their theme song. They did not get Def Rebelled.
Nope.
So now, moving on to your main event.
Yep.
And the most boring main event I have ever seen.
Yep. We get the new Bloodline entering with Solo trying to cut a entering promo like what he did back when he was Tribal Chief, but Jacob's like, nah.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'ma talk. And he cuts his
Priest,
promo.
I thought we already did this.
Yep. Man. So, the big thing I want to get out of the way, I am tired of Damian Priest having fucking superpowers. Why? If I have a man in a chokeslam position, I am not looking behind me to see if someone's coming. So I'm not going to be able to notice them trying to attack me. But no, toss Solo with, mind you, if this is how the old Titantrons work and he was just watching the Titantron is focusing on what the TV audience sees.
Mm-hmm.
So he's seeing the back of his head. Jacob comes up, I'm going to throw Solo. Attack Jacob. Why does he have eyes on the back of his head? Why is he, like, omniscient?
I think it's just a street smart Spidey sense.
But then he knocks Jacob out of the ring. Braun Strowman, for the love of the game, bless those fucking knees, does his little train spot.
Chug!
Takes out Jacob and Tama. And south of heaven, one, two, three. Damian Priest picks up the win for Braun Strowman and him. And just boring match. Which is unfortunate, because Jacob Fatu was in it.
Yeah.
They somehow found a way to make a match with Jacob Fatu. Boring as fuck. I did not think it was possible. Bold strategy. Let's see how it plays out for them, Cotton.
Yep.
How do you follow this show up?
Easy.
Do anything better?
Yes.
One promo that we didn't talk about was Chelsea Green.
Yep. It is confirmed that next Friday she is going to defend her title in her home turf against a mystery opponent.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's Zelina Vega.
Yep. Some people are saying cool, surprise opponent.
Oh.
Prepare for Michin.
I don't want this to be taken the wrong way. It's probably Natalya. And I'm not excited. I like Natalya. It's just at this point, I'd rather see someone younger, up and coming, actually take that spot. Hey, that was this episode of SmackDown.
Another promo that we forgot to cover was Kevin Owens looking like he's cutting one of his car promos in what looks like potentially an apartment or hotel room he's staying in because of the wall coloring. No, he is outside Sammy's house.
Yeah, that was a good promo.
Literally turns the camera to show Sammy and his wife playing with their kid, and I'm like, hey, yo, what the?
Hey, you weren't in the trenches back in the day, or not the trenches, because trenches mean it was bad, but you weren't in there back in the day when fucking Triple H broke into Randy Orton's house and beat his ass, threw him out his own front window onto his front lawn. Fuck out of here! This was tame! You weren't there when fucking The Fiend broke into the Miz's house. You weren't there!
Oh yeah, didn't the Fiend like give Mrs. like kid a
gift? Yeah.
Firefly Funhouse doll?
Yeah, like, dude, straight up, this was tame as fuck. But it was still good. I love it.
Didn't Triple H also...
You also missed the moment where Samoa Joe pulled up to AJ Styles' house and said, "Hey, Wendy, I'm here, Wendy." Fuck out of here. This was tame as hell, but it was good. But it was tame as fuck. Where's Kevin Owens breaking into the house and pile driving Sami Zayn in his front room? Where's that? That's unsanctioned, motherfucker.
Didn't Triple H also like pedigree Randy's dad?
No, you're thinking of Edge slapping Cena's dad. Because Edge went to Cena's home in West Newbury, Massachusetts, talked to his dad, John Cena Sr., and slapped him. Yeah, there's been a history of this fucking Brian Pillman breaking into Stone Cold breaking into Brian Pillman's house and Brian Pillman pulling a gun to end an episode of Raw.
Yeah. Even LA Knight just not even breaking in, but showing up, honking his horn while AJ's trying to record a workout video.
LA Knight showing up in Logan Paul's swimming pool.
It's like, hey, what's your rule on peeing in the pool? Because I got to go.
Yeah, like, bro, this was tame, but it was cool. Sets up, like, a lot more heat going into Chamber. I think, and a little spoiler for predictions, I think Kevin's winning this match. But what do I know? I'm not clairvoyant.
Yeah.
But speaking of predictions, so next week with pretty much this Cody Rock segment, clarifying that there will only be 4 matches in this 5th segment, it is time for predictions to be recorded. So next week at a certain time, probably Wednesday or Thursday.
Yep. We usually record them the
Raw after. So we can record it on a Tuesday. I'll probably have it up Wednesday or Thursday. Friday at the latest, because Chamber is coming up on Saturday.
Yep.
Also, another thing we usually do, we probably won't record a separate SmackDown video next week. We'll just lump that on to...
Any highlights of SmackDown will lump into a speed run, much like what I did with TNA into the PLE reaction.
Yeah, just other news before we end out here. Carmella's contract has expired. So best wishes to her in raising her kid with Corey Graves. And this might just be another, like, Becky Lynch situation of, we're going to re-sign you.
Mm-hmm.
Just take some time for yourself at this point.
Yep. Because she is on the Raw trailers for Netflix.
Yeah.
But has yet to be seen. I get take time with your family.
She last appeared in 2023. I think she had, following birth, she was having an issue with drop foot. So, it's just best wishes to her. Hope she gets well. In other TNA news, the Cologne showed up, minus Carlito, and the crowd was chanting, "Where's Carlito? Where's Carlito?" But yeah, also, we said it earlier, but the ID Championships got announced.
Yep.
And they finally updated Jey Uso's entrance for WWE 2K. They finally have a new entrance updated on the first look. But we'll also be doing 2K25 videos when they come out. But
Yep.
that is all from us today.
Yep.
So, this has been Caleb. Trevin.
Aye.
Unfortunately, there's no Zach behind the camera as always. But be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell 3 times so you know the match is over, just like this horrible show. And we will see you Tuesday for Monday Night Raw.
Bye.
Thank you for your time and peace.